Okay, here we go, guys. I am flying by the seat of my pants today. Literally, things are just moving at such a quick rate between life and my son being at camp and trying to get things done and appointments galore. My phone is going crazy. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm going to share this on my personal Facebook page, and I encourage you to do the same so people can get connected to support. Hold on one moment as I do that. Let me just share this real quick. Here we go. Hopefully people will join us today for this conversation. As people log in, don't forget to share this on your personal Facebook page so that people can get connected to a community of support and resources and hopefully vetted information that they find helpful in their lupus journey. Hello, welcome everyone. It is June 16th. Let's just sit there for a second. June 16th. We are halfway through the month of June, and I cannot even wrap my head around that. I cannot even believe that. I feel like we were just kicking off Lupus Awareness Month, right? And now here we are. It's June 16th. How did that happen? Oh my goodness. I hope everyone had a good weekend. We are just shooting into summer mode like a cannonball. We had all sorts of things happening this weekend, not just us personally, but all around the US. There were celebrations, there were protests, you name it all happened here in America. So wherever you are, I hope you are able to rest today after a very busy weekend. I also wanted to say and wish all the father figures out there a very belated and happy Father's Day. I hope that those father figures out there felt very loved yesterday. So let me introduce myself because I've got a lot to cover today and I don't want to waste any time here. My name is Kelly and I am the creator and executive director of this Portland-based nonprofit, More Than Lupus, which is now in its 6th year. June is when we celebrate our anniversary month. So yes, 6 years going on here as this nonprofit that's focused on patient resources and support. If you're unfamiliar with More Than Lupus, we are a multi-ethnic, multi-generational, and international lupus community designed by lupus patients, with lupus patients at the center focus, to connect and to grow and to inspire each other throughout the peaks, which are the highs, and the valleys, which are the lows of our unique one-of-a-kind lupus journeys. And I say "are" because if you're not familiar with my story, I have lived with systemic lupus since the age of 11, and along with that, multiple lupus overlap conditions. So that was 34 years ago that I first had my lupus symptoms come out after having a bleeding disorder as a child, and then somehow contracting Epstein-Barr virus, which led to my autoimmune cells going crazy, and then that manifested first into musculoskeletal and joint involvement, and then throughout the years I've had numerous issues with various systems in my body, have had multiple rounds of immunosuppressive therapies, as well as surgeries, and then, of course, many months of hospitalizations to get me where I'm at today. So I understand wherever you are because I most likely have been there myself throughout this journey as a pediatric patient. So I just want to be clear that we believe that every person living with lupus, no matter their background, should be treated with equity and dignity and taken seriously. And it's our mission that patients here feel heard, feel seen, and feel valued, especially if you are newly diagnosed or if you're just finding us. We see you. We want to welcome you into the fold of our community. We know how overwhelming this can be. And if that's you, we highly encourage you to check out our blogs and visit morethanlupus.com, because navigating this illness can sure be tricky. Can I get an amen? Amen. Oh, the sunbeam's back, guys. Darn. I was trying to avoid. Oh, great. Now I have to shift again. Now I have to shift. This is a little game that we play here. These little windows up here, they're very high. Any suggestions? Because getting up there, I mean, I could put a little, I think we were apprehensive when we moved into this house to put blinds up there because we thought that, oh, the sun's not going to impact me that much. But of course, during these warmer months, when the sun is out, it's shining on my face right when I choose to do this chat, which I've done for many, 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 many years at the same time every Monday. Darn. Anyway, if you see me shift my chair, that's why. Okay. Let me get to some updates before I get to our topic today. And welcome, people. Hi. Let me know where you're joining from. And hello, Jill. Oh, so good to see you here. Oh, thank you, Angie. Hi, Michelle. Let me know where you're joining from. I always love to hear where people are finding us and how are you doing? I see some people already talking about being newly diagnosed. So how are you doing? How is it impacting you? You can share as much or as little information as you feel comfortable doing, but just know this is a safe space. Also wanted to let you know that we have our monthly support group, which meets on Zoom. We, over the years, have done in-person and online support groups, but right now, because there's only one of me, and because of some financial constraints with grants being ended in 2025, we have decided to pull back to the in-person support group and just do Zoom for now because we were paying for the space that we were holding. That probably will change. You know, we've gone back and forth, obviously with COVID, we didn't meet in person. And so, you know, we're kind of in a season right now where people are really enjoying the Zoom. I know a few of you have said that you really love the in-person. So we're thinking about doing an event over the summer where everyone can be outside safely, non-peak UV hours, and connect in person. And it's not going to cost us a lot of money because we're trying to be so conscientious with every single dollar. So our monthly support groups, that being said, will be meeting this Saturday on Zoom, which is the 21st, and we meet at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you are not receiving our emails and you would like to be added to our email list to get the Zoom invites and be updated on other things that are happening more than lupus, please let us know in the comments and we'll make sure to get you added to that. I will be sending out that email in the next couple of days with the Zoom link for Saturday's monthly support group. So it's a wonderful way to connect with people all over the US. We've even had people join us internationally. And it's just a more intimate space where we can share private things that are going on and really listen. We can troubleshoot. We have such wonderfully compassionate, empathetic, smart, educated people who join these chats, and we just help each other out in so many ways. So anyway, think about that. If you feel comfortable with that and you'd like to check it out, and you're not on our email list, please let us know, okay? Also, we have our virtual event that we did 2 weekends ago with Dr. Thomas up on our YouTube channel. And Dr. Thomas, if you're unfamiliar, he wrote the Lupus Encyclopedia, now in its 2nd edition, and which is a must-have for every person who has lupus, in my opinion. It is a wonderful, comprehensive guidebook for people with lupus, lupus overlap conditions, and those that support them to understand not only the nuances of the symptoms, but new treatments, new recommendations on labs, history behind certain things, and new progress for clinical trials. Everything you think you need to know about lupus, and maybe stuff you didn't even know you needed to know about lupus, is in that book. So he partners with us quite a bit. And he was on with us a few weekends ago, and he did, at the end of Lupus Awareness Month, a fantastic virtual event entitled What People Need to Know to Live Their Best Life with Lupus. I mean, who doesn't want to know that, right? What people need to know to live their best life with lupus. So he came on and he just broke down some very easy to follow ways to be proactive with your health, to be aware if things are starting to go sideways and what you can do about it to live your best life. So that's up on YouTube, as well as two of the other ones that he did with us over the last 6 months, one on kidney nephritis and one on cardiovascular health. These are so important. This is like you are having one of the nation's top rheumatologists right there telling you the secrets to be proactive with your health, to live longer, to feel better, to know and have your questions answered too. We are removing those barriers to care. And I'm so thrilled that he gives up his time and his skills, his insights to be with us. He doesn't ask for payment. He just does this so that if at very least one person walks away with doing one thing that helps improve their life, and he is happy. He truly is a doctor who cares and who wants to see his patients succeed. So there you go. So all of those are up on our YouTube channel. You can find them here on Facebook if you scroll down farther. But some people just aren't really into Facebook anymore, or maybe you know someone who doesn't have Facebook and you'd like to set it, you can go to our YouTube and see them all there. Okay, so before I get into today's topic, I want to give you a brief disclaimer and remind you once again to share this on your personal Facebook page, because we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people live with today. A lot of people, okay? So, disclaimer time, listen up. The More Than Lupus Facebook Lupus Live support chats are aimed to be a positive and open space where you can both give and receive support and encouragement from others. I am not a doctor. We are not doctors at this organization. However, we do consult with doctors and researchers and professionals. So that being said, I cannot give you medical advice or diagnose the symptoms that you may be having. What we can do here at More Than Lupus is provide you with information and resources and support that hopefully you can take back to your doctors and have an open and honest conversation about what is the best course of action for you. Additionally, this group is intended for those living with lupus or a lupus overlap condition, like mixed connective tissue disease, scleroderma, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, Sjogren's, Raynaud's. Maybe you have a little mix of this and that, right? Most of us do. Also, this group is intended for people who know someone who might be living with lupus, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a loved one, a neighbor, support person. If you don't fall to those two categories, this is not the right chat for you. Sometimes, this is being broadcasted live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Every once in a while, this chat gets shared in a place that's not supposed to get shared. Somehow, some way, we get in some algorithm, and then you might see something, but I see it on my end. I delete it, and I will tell you my catchphrase, which is, oh, I hear it. Don't engage, refresh your page. Yes, do not engage with anything you know it's not supposed to be here. I see it, and just refresh your page, and it'll be gone. Okay. We don't waste our energy on negativity or anything else that we know is just not supposed to be there, okay? Also, sometimes, and I think it's important for me to say this because, honestly, I've had a week. Sometimes it can be our pain, our physical pain, our emotional pain. It can be medication side effects, especially if you're on steroids. And it can impact your tolerance or your window of tolerance, right? And sometimes when all this stuff is on your heart and just your hormones are off, you can snap at someone or make a harsh judgment. And unfortunately, we just don't allow that here. If you feel like you need to get something off of your chest, do it in a private message to us. But in this space right now, in the comment section, we want to keep things positive, and any inappropriate material will be deleted, and no personal attacks will be tolerated, Hey, if you don't like my hair, if you don't like my earrings, if you don't like my shirt, just send me a private message, okay? I've gotten it before. I can handle it, but just don't do it here, okay? All right. Oh, and that's it. Oh, I do need to tell you that today's Facebook Live is just going to be a hair shorter than normal. I usually go over 60 minutes, let's be honest, right? But I need to leave here at around 11:40 today because mama duties call. I have to pick up my son in a different city for camp at noon. So I have to make sure that I log out and get in my car and get over there and get my buddy. Okay? So that's why I'm talking a little bit fast. That's why I feel a little bit hurried this morning because I want to delve straight into today's topic, which is da da da. Oh, there we go. It's backwards. Sorry for me. Lupus and migraines. Lupus and migraines. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I frozen? I sure hope I'm not frozen because my internet just gave me a warning signal on the stream. Everybody hear me? See me okay? Just send me a little chat saying you can hear me and see me okay. Okay, looks good. Great. Here we go. All right, let's get right into the painful point here. Well, good thing is that June is Men's Health Month. And as you were aware, if you watched last week, we had Emmett Henderson on with us. And he was wonderful and he talked about lupus in men. And so, yeah, Men's Health Month is June. Pride Month is June, but June is also Migraine Awareness Month. Migraine Awareness Month. So today we are going to talk about lupus and migraines. Did you know? I'm just going to put this right here and keep going. So yeah, migraines occur in up to 1/3 of systemic lupus patients. That's a lot. You know that sensation, right? That slight, subtle pressure, that little wah, 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 wah feeling that almost you can hear that quickly turns into your head feeling like it's being squeezed in a skull crushing vice. You dread saying out loud because you don't want to admit that this is happening. It's going to be happening. The unwelcome visitor that comes too often, who may be staying several hours or maybe even days. Yep, it's a migraine. Ugh, migraine. And migraine headaches are a whole other level of pain on earth that you wish you never had to go through. I can say in my personal experience, and I can talk about this a little bit later too, I've been in some pain in my life throughout my illness, with my joint pain, with kidney stones, with enduring a 37-hour labor with a failed epidural and a forced induction that did not work. That all very painful, and migraine headaches are up there. Migraine headaches are up there with some of the most pain I've ever experienced in my life. How about you? How about you? It is awful, awful. So a migraine is defined by the Mayo Clinic as a headache that can cause severe throbbing pain or that pulsating sensation, which is the wah, 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 wah. Usually it's on one side of the head, but it can radiate. It can also, because of the pain and the way it impacts the body, cause nausea, cause vomiting, just complete lack of appetite, extreme sensitivity to light, and extreme sensitivity to sound. You know how it is. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't even look at that light. Turn it off. Don't make it beep. You can't even move your head sometimes because Any movement, it's just whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it's awful. And these attacks, these migraine attacks, can last for hours and sometimes days. I mean, I've been like, oh yeah, day 2 of migraine, day 3. Now, the first day is usually the worst. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But and you can have them, and then they can impact your eyesight for days as well. They can make you feel dizzy. They can, as I mentioned, impact your vision. And the pain can be so severe that it's curtains. There's nothing you can do about it. If you have to work or push through a migraine, it is miserable, miserable. I remember one time I worked for Disney when I lived in California, and I was having to, be as a cast member, you're on stage, you have to have a good show, which means like be prepared to interact with the guests and be friendly and have your smile on. I mean, I remember my face used to hurt getting home because you have to smile so much when you're when you're inside the park, or on stage is what we call it in the cast member talk. And I had a migraine. And I remember it was like a January, February situation where we had all these big shifts in temperature changes, which is one of my triggers. And I was just like, if they only knew the amount of pain, and that I can barely, I'm grinding my jaw right now because the pain is so bad. And then finally I was able to leave and go home. And it was lights out, curtains, take my medicine. So I'm going to break down just a few different types of headache disorders in the time I have with you today. Please let me know, do you have migraines? Are they pretty severe? Are they pretty regular? Have you figured out kind of what your migraine triggers are? Let's have a little conversation here in the chat box as I talk about some of these things. And just so you know, if you are new for the first time, I get through some information for you. I do a little inspiring quote for your week, and then I start at the top of the comments and I work my way down. So this is a great time to talk about any questions, comments, concerns. It can be about migraines. It could be about your health in general, or if you have a question that you just came in saying, I just wanted to ask about this. It's not about migraines. That's okay. That is okay. Just go ahead and post questions, comments, concerns. I'll do my best to get through them while I have the time. Okay, so migraines are one of several headache disorders affecting many people in the United States. They believe approximately 42 million Americans have some sort of headache disorder throughout the duration of their life. Migraine attacks typically start during adolescence or in the 20s. Sometimes that's just because of that hormone connection, but people can experience onsets of migraines at any stage of life. For lupus patients, migraines and tension headaches are some of the most common types of headaches experiences. Now, I have both. I have arthritis in my neck. I also have this thing that's called Chiari malformation. So the back parts of my skull are a little bit wonky. So my occipital condyles, my brainstem kind of dips down a little bit, and so that causes tension headaches in the back of my head as well. So they're pretty common. And in fact, a recent medical journal shows, let me post this so you can reference it if you so desire, that migraine is more common in lupus than in the general public. Yeah. Dr. Don Thomas, who I mentioned earlier, with the Lupus Encyclopedia, said when he read that article in that medical journal, this was huge for him because up until such time that article came out, patients told their doctors this, but he said, we docs say there's no difference in prevalence, but patients are absolutely right on this one. Tension headaches and migraines happen more in lupus patients than they do in general public. As I mentioned earlier, migraines occur in 1/3 of systemic lupus patients. You have 3 people in a room, one of them lives with migraine headache disorder. Okay, that's a lot. Headaches are believed to be among the most frequent types of pain people experience. The National Headache Foundation, which is a great website to check out, here, I'll put it here too, says that 24% of people living with migraine disease report headaches so severe that they had to go to the emergency room. So almost a fourth of people with migraines report the pain is so bad that you have to go to the emergency room. It's unbearable to suffer at home. Yeah. Curious, have you gone to the emergency room for a headache before? I did. I've gone a couple times. One was for a spinal headache after a failed spinal tap when a ER physician a resident performed a spinal tap when he'd never done one before. That's a lumbar puncture. Sorry, that's an antiquated term, I guess. And then he made the hole too big. I leaked spinal fluid, and then I had a spinal headache, which was so severe that I had to have what's known as a blood patch epidural. That's a whole other thing. So anyway, yeah, so about a quarter of people who have migraines go to the ER because they're so painful. As I mentioned, I've had migraines since adolescence. I can attest to the pain, the full-blown migraine. Top three most excruciating experiences next to giving birth to a 8-millimeter kidney stone and giving birth to a 8-pound, 12-ounce child. Which actually I didn't, that was the C-section, but anyway. There are over 150, something like that, types of headaches, but there are two broad headache categories. I know I'm really getting into the weeds here. I'm going to try and get as much information as I can for you. Primary headache disorders and secondary headache disorders. Primary headache disorders, probably you guessed it, this occurs with the absence of other illnesses or diseases. So people who have headaches, they don't have any other condition that kind of piggybacks on that. It could be cluster headaches, but yeah, so no other, they have migraine, headache disorder, but they do not have any other disease that they know of that's associated with it. Okay, that's primary. Now, secondary is kind of, self-explanatory. Secondary is when headaches are symptoms of other conditions. This can happen because of viruses. This can happen because of procedures like mine, the failed lumbar puncture, injections, medications, allergies, head injuries, tumors, range of other diseases, medications, or other types of problems that are causing these major headaches. Okay, so that's secondary. What is significant about understanding between primary and secondary is that when you have a disease like lupus that's systemic and impacts many parts of your body, it can be really hard to know which category you fall in with your headache disorder. A neurologist is someone that's going to help you figure that out because it can be confusing, especially since headaches are listed as one of the 11 criteria by the American College of Rheumatology under neurologic disorder for diagnosis. Yeah. So the link between lupus and migraines is complex. Are the headaches caused by a flare coming on, or are they caused by an overlapping condition like fibromyalgia? Is it from photosensitivity, or is it from a medication? So it's a little bit money. It can feel kind of like the classic chicken or the egg, right? That continues to baffle doctors. But let's just assume that your headaches have been classified as a secondary headache disorder because of that criteria point in the list from the American College of Rheumatology under neurologic condition that says headaches or migraines, okay? So the reason for headaches in this scenario, most doctors, rheumatologists, neurologists believe is from inflammation. So lupus involves chronic inflammation, which can trigger migraines. However, true lupus headaches, not migraines, but lupus headaches can be a little bit tricky. In fact, sometimes lupus headaches that are not from, how should I say this? Lupus headaches that are from inflammation, a lot of time do not respond to narcotic therapy. But they do respond to steroid therapy. So if you have a true lupus headache that is from inflammation and you are seeking narcotics to help you, go to the ER and they want to give you morphine or Vicodin or whatever works best for you, it might not help unless they give you steroids, okay? Because it's the inflammation. It's the inflammation, okay? But also, lupus can cause an interplay with your cardiovascular system, and you might have some vascular abnormalities affecting the blood vessels, leading to changes in blood flow to the brain that can potentially trigger migraines as well. In addition to the things that are happening in your body, we take medications, many. Most of us are highly medicated at all times. I know I am. And certain medications used to manage lupus, including corticosteroids, which is used to treat headaches sometimes, and immunosuppressants, can contribute to the development of migraines as a side effect, okay? So it's like, there's this really funny scene. I'm going to go on a tangent here with friends where Phoebe has a headache and she doesn't like to take medicine. So she pulls out a bottle of Tylenol or headache medicine and she's like about to take it. She looks at the side effects and says, may cause headache. She's like, but I have a headache. You know, it's kind of, this is how it is sometimes and how our body responds to certain medications. Certain medications that we can use to treat headaches can also cause headaches. And that is how it is. Now, for some, the main culprit with a trigger for a migraine is something that most lupus patients live with on some level, and that is photosensitivity. Light can act as a trigger. It can also make your migraine headaches worse. People with photosensitivity often report issues with sensitivity to artificial and natural light before, during, and after headaches. So that could be right there something that is interplaying with your headache development. And as I mentioned a little bit ago, overlap conditions like fibromyalgia, that's a disorder characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain and fatigue and sleep, memory, mood disorders, thought to be a overaction of nerve signals sending pain. Researchers believe that fibromyalgia amplifies pain sensations by affecting how the brain and spinal cord process painful and non-painful signals with those neurotransmitters. It possibly can potentially be autoimmune related. There's a lot of new information coming out on that. But it can present as a migraine catalyst. And if migraines are your top fibromyalgia symptom, God bless you, because that is awful, awful. Rheumatoid arthritis as well is an autoimmune inflammatory condition that affects the joints. And according to the Journal of Headache and Pain, people with severe headaches were at least twice as likely to also have rheumatoid arthritis. Here you go. I'll post this here for you. Other factors, exposures to allergens, things you are sensitive to or allergic to, certain histamines that can trigger your immune system to have an overreactive response and fuel inflammation in your body, and that can be a catalyst for migraines. I know when I smell certain lilies, certain flowers, and I work with flowers all the time, that gives me certain scents, smoke, and also dairy. I was born allergic to milk, and then I tried to get some dairy back into my body when I was a little bit older, and then realized that my body just stopped producing the enzymes to break it down because I hadn't had dairy in so long. So then I became lactose intolerant. And now I live with this kind of weird half allergy, half lactose thing where I know if I have too much dairy, I could get a headache. Other things that have certain sulfates in them, like red wine, certain foods can really trigger. So speaking of triggers, the top ways to manage your migraine headaches with lupus is to communicate with your doctor about what you think your triggers may be. When you see to a headache journal, when you see they're coming on, could it be related to taking medication? Could it be related to eating certain foods? Could it be related to certain times of the months where your hormones are boop, boop, boop? You know what I mean, ladies, right? Make sure that your healthcare providers are aware of your migraine headaches, discuss the symptoms, triggers, and medication side effects. They can help develop a symptom management plan. As I mentioned, a food journal, a headache diary. This is how I was able to get my migraines into a place that I could lessen the frequency and severity of them. I was able to track through a headache diary, identify my triggers: smoke, dehydration, wine, too much dairy, hormones. Identify and avoid triggers like lack of stress, not drinking enough water, avoiding certain foods, all of those things. And that really helps your doctors or med care team to come up with the most cohesive plan for you. Sorry, my mouth is really dry right now. And hopefully help you live a better migraine-free life. So also maintaining healthy habits, establishing a regular sleep pattern, good sleep hygiene, mindfulness techniques, stretching, yoga, reducing stress in any way that you can. And then once you know your triggers, you eliminate your triggers. Yeah. Because when you start getting and seeing progress and less migraines, the last thing you want to do is go backwards. And when they come on, you're like, no. So a lot of great information. Also, remember that, hormones, it should be noted that 60% of women who live with migraines found attacks related to their menstrual cycle, which can be caused because of that drop in estrogen. Now, the problem with oral contraceptives is sometimes they can affect your headaches. They can cause headaches in some ways. Pregnancy, perimenopause, and menopause. Always really important to discuss hormone replacement therapy with your doctors if you have migraines and what their thoughts on with all of that stuff, okay? So regarding medications, I just don't have the time to go there. There's lots of treatments now between Botox injections for your headaches, lots of fast-acting and preventative medications. So I am just going to close out because I have to go get my son. And say to you that as someone that has lived with migraines for a long time, incorporating self-care practices, acupuncture really helped me. Exercise, relaxation techniques, good sleep, avoiding triggers, working closely with my doctors has helped me to very much so decrease the frequency of my migraine headaches. So please reach out to support. I posted some links for National Headache Association. Let's see, what else? I think, yep, I posted that there. Okay, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to, anybody who has any questions here, I'll make sure I read them after I come back and grab my son, okay? Because I don't want to be late to get him. Have a great day, guys. I am so sorry this is so rushed. I tried to talk as fast as I could. And I just want to leave you with one quote, and this is by Rosa Parks. And she said, to bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. And maybe your first step today is reaching out to a support person. Maybe your first step today was joining today's chat. And if it was, you are brave. I'm so proud of you. So incredibly proud of you. Maybe your first step is to reach out to try something new like acupuncture or meditation. Maybe your first step to change is telling yourself that you are more than a sum of everything that you think is wrong with you today. That you are complete just as you are. That you are both a masterpiece and a work in progress, as is every single person living here on this earth with what I call the chronic condition called life. We all have stuff going on. All of us do. And the best thing we can do is take care of us so that we are our best version in this one finite, marvelous life that we have to live. So to bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. Do something that brings you joy today. Okay, it might be just reading a few more pages in that book that you put down and you're like, oh, I should get back to that. It might be planting flowers, buying yourself flowers, talking to a friend on the phone. Whatever it is, lean into that today. Enjoy your life, okay? There are so many things that can lead you to joy with lupus, All right, gotta go. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.